Hello and welcome to your yoga stretch. So for this class today, we're going to keep everything slow and to the floor, no standing, just a super stretch. So this class can be done on its own, or you can put this on the end of any other class that you may or may not choose to do. Okay, so we're going to start by sitting up tall on your sit bones. I don't mind how you sit as long as you are comfortable. And just for the moment, you're going to close your eyes or lower the gaze and think about your breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Think about where you're sending that breath. Just begin to slow that breathing down. And for those of you who regularly practice yoga, if you want to go for Ujjayi breath, which is that sound as you exhale, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I just would like you to breathe as deep as you can. I'm going to try and keep that breath deep and wide throughout this session. I know you'll forget, so I will try my hardest to remind you. Okay, I'm going to start to roll the shoulders back and down. Big circles warming up through that shoulder joint. Excellent. Let's go for one more. And from here, I'm going to tip the right ear toward the right shoulder, back to the center, and change side, back to the center. Just alternating sides, being gentle, being careful, being aware that it's your neck. This will be your last one. And when you're done, inhale, breath wide. Exhale, roll down from the top of the head. Articulate through, curve over your thighs. Inhaling at the bottom. And exhale, uncurl, restack, sacrum to cranium, lengthen through the tip of the ears. And again, inhale, breath wide. Exhale, roll down, articulate through, curve that spine over. Inhaling, and as we exhale, uncurl, restack, sacrum to cranium, lengthen through, and one more time, inhale. Exhale now, lace up your corset, releasing through the shoulders, inhaling at the bottom, and as we exhale, we uncurl, restacking, sacrum to cranium, lengthen through the tip of the ears, hands behind, fingers face at your buttocks. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, extend the spine, exhale, back to neutral. So we inhale, lift and extend, exhale, back to neutral, and one more. And returning back to neutral, bring the arms out. So we inhale, flex over to one side. Exhale, back to the center, change side. So we are just ricocheting side to side, keeping the arm overhead straight. Imagine you're pouring water out of your ear and you're looking straight ahead at whatever device you're washing this on. This will be your last one. And when you're done, right hand, left knee, lengthen the spine. We add a little rotation, back to the center, change side now. Lengthen the spine before you rotate, and back to the center. And again, lengthen, rotate, come back to the center, and one more time. Return back to the center. We're going to reach the fingertips up and circle the arms. And again. We're reaching the fingertips up and circle. So I'm going to think about lengthening through that spine, warming up the shoulder joint, stretching out through that chest. We're going to add the back. As you circle the arms, round the spine, roll back of those sit bones. So we inhale to neutral, exhale, circle and round. So think about the flow, think about continually moving. So we really are manipulating through the vertebra. Using that breath, we're going to go for one more. Beautiful. Lengthen the spine, reaching the fingertips up, hands in front. You can pull yourself through or come onto all fours, however you can. Big toes together, knees apart. We're going to sit the pelvis down and back to all fours. And again, a little bit of hip mobility, relaxing through the shoulders. So I'm going to combine mobility with the stretching today, just because it feels nice. We're going to stay on all fours, round the spine into your cat, sit the pelvis down, reach out the fingertips, so child's pose here. Let's take the right arm out to the right hand side. We take the left hand, the thumbs might meet, they might not. Sandwich the head between the biceps. We're stretching through the waist, through the lower back, through the shoulder. Come back to the center, roll the shoulder blades away from the ears, left hand out, right arm comes to meet it. And I encourage you to take a breath whenever you can, sigh it out if you need to. And we're coming back to the center. Come on to all fours, release the shoulders, separate the toes, hook your toes under. We're going to inhale, pick up the knees, exhale, release, and again. So we inhale, pick up the knees, exhale, release. So we're pulling those abdominals in. We're not taking the pelvis too high. We're gonna hold it here on our next one and push through for a downward facing dog. So we're aiming the heels to the floor, tailbone to the ceiling, release the shoulders back and down. Now you can do whatever you want to here. You can bend and straighten both legs. You can lift and lower both heels. You can alternate the heel lift for a walk the dog, yeah? You can rotate or twist on either side. It's entirely up to you. And with each breath, think about pushing that chest closer to the thighs, shoulders away from the ears, aiming the heels down. From here, team, we're going to take the right leg up into the air. It doesn't matter where. You can come onto that left forearm if you prefer. You don't have to. And releasing that right leg down. Relaxing through the shoulders. Let's take up the left leg. Doesn't matter how high it goes. So we're just super stretching through that right side. And releasing the leg down. From here, team, we're going to lift the heels, ripple through, articulate through the vertebra, come into a plank. Please bring the knees down if you need to, that's fine. And very gently bring yourself down to the floor. Push yourself through. We're coming into a cobra, release the shoulders, eye line slightly lifted. So think about lifting from that breastbone. So we're aiming to keep the pubic bone in contact with the mat. And take a few deep breaths here. Releasing the chest down. Hook your toes under, either onto all fours or reverse the push-up back to a plank. We come back to our downward facing dog. We're going to take up the right leg again. Sweep the foot between the hands. If you need to help it, hold on to it and place it through, please do so. We're going to lower the pelvis, lift the chest. From here, you take your right toes out to the right hand side of the mat. Let that right knee drop out. Hands on the inside of the right foot. Come on to the top of the left foot. Rotate to your right. Take that pelvis down. So your left shoulder will creep up a little. Don't worry about it. We're thinking hip, we're thinking glute, we're thinking waist. And return back to the center. From here, we're planting down that left leg. We're just going to go for a little inner thigh stretch here, aiming the right heel down, still pulling that right knee back. If you can, you might take that pelvis all the way way down. And return back to your low lunge. Step the right leg back, plank position, navel in. Come back to your downward facing dog. Taking up the left leg, doesn't matter how high. Sweep the foot between the hands. Help it if you need to, lift the chest. Left toes in the corner of the left hand side of the mat. Let that left knee drop out. Hands on the inside. Come onto the top of the right foot. Rotate to the left hand side. Now you're still thinking about holding your navel in, or as I like to call it, lacing up your corset. From here, release it off. We come back to the lunge and then rotate completely to the other side, a little inner thigh stretch. Still trying to pull that left knee back. You may place that pelvis down, you may not, that's entirely up to you. And return back to your lunge. Step your left leg back into a plank. And back to your downward facing dog. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Separate those sit bones. You get an opportunity here to come onto the forearms if you wish to. You don't have to. If you're on your forearms, release it off. We're going to take a seat. You might bend the knees, get springy with the earth and jump through. You might just take a seat however you can. We're going to lengthen out through the legs. We're going to flex through the feet, lengthen through the spine and forward fold. We're pulling the toes back toward the shins, releasing the shoulders and holding it there. With each and every exhalation, have that sensation of stretching a little further, stretching a little more. And of course, if you do this after a hot class, a hot sweaty class, you will stretch further. And release it back to sitting. I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to bend the right knee. Option 1 is foot next to the thigh. Option 2 is foot on the thigh. Lengthen through the spine again and forward fold across your left leg. And again, as ever, doesn't matter how far down you go. Just think about lengthening the spine. Create space between the vertebrae if you can visualize that. And releasing it off. Let's change sides. So we lengthen the right, flex the left. Option 1 next to, option 2 on top of. Lengthen that spine and forward fold. Relax the shoulders. Doesn't matter how far forward you go. Think about pulling your toes towards your shins. And releasing it off. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. We're holding onto your ankles, lengthening through the spine. And again, as you exhale, we forward fold. So we're aiming the sternum towards your bunions. Elbows may go into the groove of the knees. You may be pushing the knees to the floor, but we're really thinking about lengthening if you can. And it doesn't matter how far down you go. You are going to feel inner thigh. Hopefully you're stretching your lower back. So if you do have lower back issues, this is a nice one. And remember to breathe. And to inhale here and exhale, release it off. Let's cross the ankles. Hands behind for support. Option 1, we're going to lift through the chest. Let me turn around. Option 2 is to lift the pelvis away from the floor, either or. It could be hands flat down. You might be on the balls of the hands. That's absolutely fine. We're engaging the glutes, relaxing through the shoulders. And remember, it's not Playboy Bunny pose, so we're not dropping their head back. We are in control of our neck. And releasing it down. we're going to widen out the legs, flex through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Now if you can walk yourself forward, great. If you can't, don't worry about it, it doesn't matter. So again, we are moving from the sternum, pulling the toes back, lovely. And we're taking the arms in front. It doesn't matter how far down you go, you've got that general gist by now, right? So you're gonna do what you can. If you do manage to get all the way down, fantastic. If not, you can stay on your elbows, it's fine. You can stay on your hands, it's fine, okay? But think about lengthening the spine rather than rounding the spine if you can. Bringing yourself back up to sitting. I actually don't want to move. I could just stay here a bit longer, but no, come up to sitting. Let's take that right arm up, flex over to the left hand side, root through that right sit bone. So you see this gap here? We want to try and plant that down if we can. So we really are stretching through the lat, through the waist, through the lower back, the quadratus lumborum, the Harry Potter muscle. And release it off. Let's change side. Relaxing through the shoulder, pulling that navel in. Releasing it off, team. We're going to bring the legs together. Let's bend the right knee, right ankle, left thigh, hands behind for support. Walk the left foot in, walk the buttocks in, pull that right knee towards me. If you need to adjust that right foot, please do so. Relax the shoulders and lengthen through that spine. We're rolling onto your left hip, right foot to the floor. Left elbow, right knee. Lengthen the spine, we're rotating to the right hand side. So option one, we can keep that hand up. Option two, you might thread that left hand in the gap of the thigh and aim to bind. You might not, that's absolutely fine. And releasing it off. Let's take that left ankle over the right knee. Hands behind for support. Walk the right foot in, walk the buttocks in, lengthen through that spine. Rolling onto your right hip, left foot to the floor. Right elbow, left knee. Lengthen the spine, rotate to your left. So option one, we stop that bus. Option two, you bind. Either or. And release it off. You're going to take that left leg behind, right leg in front, so we're into a pigeon pose. So right heel is in line with the left hip bone. So option one, we're going to lengthen that spine, little arch in the lower back. Option two, you might add a forward fold. Okay. Option three, you might bend that left leg for a quad stretch. Either or. You might want to go all three, you might want to stick to one, that's fine. For those of you who've been doing yoga a while and want to, a roll pigeon is also an option, where you hook the toe over your elbow, take that right arm up and aim to interlace the fingers. You might not, that's fine. Wherever you are, release it down. Let's take your left forearm in line with the front of the mat. We sweep the right arm up, option one, or reach your right arm around, option two. We're aiming to hold on to the right foot, but please don't panic if you don't, it's cool. and releasing it off. Hook your left toe under, come into a plank, bring that left leg forward to your pigeon. So option 1 is to lengthen through that spine. Option 2 is to add that forward fold. Option 3 is to add that quad stretch, either or. If you want to rock backwards in the quad stretch, fine. Make it work for you, okay? That's the ethos of exercise. You have to make it work for you. For those of you who want to do that pigeon, you hook your toe over the elbow joint. Take that left arm up and breathe, if you can. And release it down wherever you are. Right forearm in line with the front of the mat. We sweep the left arm up, option 1, or reach that left arm around, option 2. And release it off. Let's bring both legs in front. Flex through the feet. Interlace the fingers, send the knuckles to the floor. Now, if you've got a dodgy shoulder, you might not want to add the arms. That's fine. And as you exhale, we add a forward fold. Aim the chest to the thighs and knuckles to the ceiling. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Just holding it there. And releasing it off, team. From here, we're going to roll down to lying. Heels in line with the sit bones. Release the shoulders. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to lift up through that pelvis into a shoulder bridge. Release the shoulders back and down. Pushing the feet into the floor. Just opening through the chest. Bringing both knees into the chest. Give them a little hug. You might want to rock side to side. So from here, guys, we're going to bring the feet into the air. Flex with the feet. Just hold it there. You might want to stay here for a few moments, or you might want to join me. I'm going to widen out the legs. This one's a really good one to do if you put your legs against the wall, that's fine. And for those of you who are super flexible and want to, you're going to hold on to your heels and just gently encourage the toes toward the floor. Now remember, you don't have to, it's fine, right? Wherever you are, release it off. Give the knees a hug again. Team, you get 2 options. Option 1 is to just lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms, and you might want to hold it here for a moment. A little bit of your own shavasana, relax and chill. Option 2, you're going to roll onto one side and come up to sitting. I don't mind how you sit, as long as you are comfortable. Lengthening through the spine, release the shoulders. We're going to take 5 deep breaths. So we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. One more time. We inhale and exhale. Regulate your breathing. Stay here for a moment. Do whatever you need to that feels good. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We are done. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you want to just chill on your floor for a moment, please go ahead. Thank you, guys. You take care. Please stay safe.